Good morning. It's December 4th. This is the Carbs Community Show. My name is Kirk, and today we're going to talk about acting right. All you got to do is act right. What does acting right mean? It means you know what you're supposed to do. You know what the right thing is to do. So do the right thing. If you know you're supposed to do something, go ahead and do it. If you don't do it, acknowledge you didn't do it. It's some simple things. It's really the golden rule is basically treat others the way you want to be treated, and then also follow what you know you're supposed to be doing. You know you ain't supposed to be hating on nobody. You know if someone else is successful, you should be happy for their success. You know what I mean? Some things that you're supposed to let go. Some people you're supposed to forgive. Acting right just means doing the right thing. You know what the right thing is to do. You know what it is. Some people call it the Holy Ghost. Like the Holy Ghost told you, the Holy Ghost will give you discernment. You should know, okay, I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew what I wasn't supposed to do, but you did it anyway. And you can learn from it. I was inspired to talk about this today because I was watching some Gary V, and he's talking about taking L's, and then also talking about other people's success and being happy for other people's success and using it as motivation, and also learning from your L, learning from losses. I've taken a lot of L's and continue to take L's, but I try to learn from them. I try not to dwell on them. They sting at first, but it doesn't sting me. It stings my ego. You know what I mean? It stings that part of me that wants to be perfect. You know what I mean? That part of me that wants to always be winning, because you don't want to lose, obviously, because of that sting of hurting. But you learn a lot from mistakes that you make. Matter of fact, a lot of learning is making mistakes. So I've learned over time not to dwell too hard on the mistakes or the losses that I've had. When I first started doing bodybuilding competitions and getting into the bodybuilding world, my first show I lost really bad, and I had got gassed up, and people was like, "Oh, you're gonna win," and I went to the show and I got fourth call out, which is basically the bottom. If there was like 20 people in there, I was in the bottom 5. And it stung. Like, I was on stage, a lot of people from my gym were there, and I was embarrassed. I felt humiliated. But when I got off stage, everybody was like, "Good job, Kurt, you did good," and I got a lot of love, and I learned a lot. And that, I wasn't really passionate about bodybuilding at that time. I did it because my friend had asked me to do it. But after that loss, I had like a fire in me, because I was like, I know I ain't no loser. You know what I mean? Like, I knew I could do better than that. So I did another competition, and that time I coached myself, and I made some bad decisions, cheated on my diet, gave myself some food that I probably shouldn't have had. I filled up wrong. I made a lot of mistakes on that show too, and I did bad again. So I did a third show, and this time I hired another coach. And this coach, actually, I knew that this person didn't have respect for me. I knew that this person didn't like me even. But this person had some knowledge that I needed. And so I hired this person. I put my ego aside and my pride aside, and I went ahead and learned from this person, and I won. And that win was very emotional for me, because I could have quit at the first show. I wanted to quit at the first show, because that sting. But at the same time, I knew better. I knew I could do better. And so I persevered, stayed consistent, and I won. When I started coaching athletes, when people start asking me to coach them, I had a string of success. So like my first, I want to say probably 10 competitions, everybody won something. All my athletes had won something. Sometimes both my athletes would win something. And it was very special for me, for them to win, and for me to prove a lot of people wrong that I didn't know what I was doing. Recently, last December, And this past weekend, I had athletes in shows that they didn't win. They didn't win anything. And I promise you, it bothers me more than it bothers them. I know it bothers them, but it bothers me more because I'm in the leadership role. They're depending on me. They're trusting me to get them that, that W. And sometimes you come up short, man, and it bothers me. I don't like coming up short, and I don't like letting people down. It's one thing if I lose, but it's another thing to be responsible for somebody else's loss. And that's tough, but that's part of leadership. Part of leadership is when people do well, it's they did it. And when people fail, if you're in the leadership role, it's your fault. It's my fault if my clients go home and cheat on their diet. People say, well, you can't control that. You can't control that. That's them. That's out of your control. You shouldn't worry about that. But it's more that I can do to motivate that person to make good decisions when they're on their own, and finding out why are they making the bad decisions and addressing it. In the time span that I have with that person, it is my responsibility to help them fulfill the goal that they came to me to help them get. They weren't getting it on their own, and so they sought me out to help them. I take it very personal that I need to help them, even if it's on a psychological level, an emotional level, spiritual level, nutritional, maybe getting in the gym, whatever it is that I need to do to help fulfill what they asked me to do, I need to do that. So I take it personal, and that's part of leadership, is when they fail, that I take it very personal and I take responsibility. It's not really on them when they ask me to help guide them. But the thing is about taking losses is they sting, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not that you can't come back and be successful. You just gotta act right, and acting right is part of all the principles of success. For instance, having a goal, having specialized knowledge, having what's called a mastermind, or a team of people, like-minded people that you can seek counsel from. It's being consistent, being persistent, being passionate, and other principles that help you be successful. And they're principles, they're like laws. It's like gravity. It's a law. You follow these principles, you will be successful. There's no doubt about it. There's no guess to it. There's no I hope, I would, what if. It ain't that. If you follow the principles, you will be successful. And I promise you, I have been successful in many arenas, many different different ways. Like I have done a lot of different things. A lot of people don't know about my history. I'm currently in the fitness industry, and I'm trying to actually get out of this industry and move into more of something bigger, which is carbs. And I don't try to put myself in a box. I just want to be successful. I just want to be happy on my own terms. And you can be happy on your own terms if you act right. Okay? So act right. Shout out to Tita.